Hey guys, it's your boy Cobra. I'm super pumped. We got an Etheria restart video right here, and we're going to be talking about the double drop. Why am I pumped, you ask? Well, this double drop is going to be amazing. So what I want to do is I want to talk about what I did the last double drop, what I plan to do this double drop, and then finally what I would do if I was you in this double drop to prepare, okay? First, let's talk about my account and my progression. We're level 100, completely maxed out. I refresh stamina every single day. And I think everybody should. I think even if you're free to play, all your crystals need to go towards stamina. We are currently finished in Inferno. We have done Nico Inferno. I have not touched the other Infernos because, well, to be honest, Nico's not being good to me. I need a dieting shell, and I have not been able to get one off of Nico, even though I've been farming her for 9 days. It's very frustrating. So, another thing is PvP. I'm diamond in RTA. I keep getting it and losing it because, well, people are starting to wear bulwark, and I'm starting to lose momentum. It's very easy. My team absolutely rocks as long as they don't have bulwark. But what I'm noticing is everybody has been putting bulwark on their key opener, and that has made it unbelievably difficult for me to continue to climb. So I have to change. I have to change my way of approaching RTA. As far as regular arena, well, we're doing great. Getting up to Mythic again is not going to be a problem. So let's go ahead and do an overview, basic overview of my units. I am currently good with most of my units. They're all built, and I kind of will go through them slowly. And these units I use not only for PvP, but I use them in PvE. So the idea with my account is I wanted to build units that were good in both places. If they're not good in both places, I'm probably not going to build them. A good example of that is a lot of people are using dot teams, right? And these dot teams are very, very popular right now. And they've been popular since the beginning of the game because you don't need a lot of heavy stats in order to run them. Now you'll notice I do have Sonia, I do have Fangus, I do have Obel, but the thing is this, right? I'm not going to level them because they're not going to be useful for me in PvP. Obel maybe, but not necessarily. I'm just not interested. So I focused 100%, even though I was slower in my progression, to focus my resources into the same few characters. So what does that look like? All right, so this is my Nico team. I will create the other teams as I go ahead and finalize them. This is my Terramatron, my Doki, my Aurora, and this is my basic farming team. And all of these teams have a lot of the same characters, right? And this is how I know who to prioritize. I want the overlap because I want my resources to go that much further, right? So Val is in my Terramatron, she's in my Doki. That's awesome. That means any investment I do into Val, I get to take advantage of in multiple places. Same thing with Didding, right? Didding's in 3 of these as well as this one. So I get a ton of investment out of every piece of resource I put into him. That's why I'm focusing so much on Nico Nana Inferno right now because I really, really want a momentum shell. This is the closest I've gotten to the shell I'm looking for. I'll show you right now. And I'm so upset it's not exactly what I want, but what can you do about it, right? Where's momentum? This is the closest I've come to. I want this to be Fury, and then it's perfect. If I get that piece, I will be satisfied, but I'm going to keep farming until I get it. Now, I've thought about building this one anyways, because, I mean, speed's not bad, right? The faster your DPS goes, the better he is, especially if you don't have a Lily like me. I don't have a Lily. So it might be an okay investment, but I don't want to waste the resources on maybe, right? I know what is good. And my DPS is amazing right now with him. And it can only be better if I swap it to momentum as opposed to Kenai. And that's kind of my goal. Now, my biggest priority with my characters is basically going to be this. I've already put them in a position to where they all have their own gear. Okay. So I don't need to worry about that. But I do want to fine tune a lot of their sets and a lot of their shells. So an example would be Sukiya. I don't have her 6-piece yet. Well, I want to get her to a place where she has a good 6-piece. My Val, I want to swap over. She doesn't need Evo Guard, she needs something else. So I want to change a few of my builds. I would love to have like a Time Weave on Mia, but I don't know if it's worth the loss of my HP, because I do use her in Aurora, and removing the negative debuff that Aurora uses against you is really, really powerful, and she just excels at removing that. She does a massive heal. So that's my focus there. I just want to start to fine tune with this double drop. I already know what I want for them, so I know how to target what I'm looking for, and that's the most important part here. So now let's talk about my strategy. So my strategy is going to be, I'm going to avoid investigation unless a quest tells me to. Like as of right now, I've got a union quest, 20 investigation runs. So I will do those 20, and it is what it is. I believe investigation is the worst way to use your stamina, but that's okay. GP Outpost, on the other hand, is incredibly powerful. Even if you just put your resources into, like, let's show Fang, for example. I've got no investment into him, but I do have these first initial stat increases, right? Make sure you're doing stat increases on all your characters that you're using, because that is very, very important. So GP Outpost is incredible. And I've got a couple that I need to go ahead and max out, right? It looks like my light and dark is cool, but these, I need more. And I might dump a little bit into light, but we'll see. So once my GP Outpost is a little bit better, I might dump maybe 5 stabilizers into that. Let's talk about modules. My progression bottleneck is modules. It is absolutely modules. The better stat line you have for your characters, the easier content is going to be. Now, how do you get the better stat lines? Well, it's all about modules. So it starts with your shell, then it goes into matrix, and then it goes into stats from your modules themselves, your sublines. So that's where I'm at. Everybody already has their shells, they have their matrices. Now I'm worried about stat lines. So that's how I'm kind of building out my cast of characters. So Threshold is my bottleneck. I'm going to do a little bit in Terramatron, not a bunch, just what my quests tell me to, whether it's through this hyperlink or it's through quests from the Union. I will do a little bit of Terramatron farming, but most of my stamina is going to go into Doki and into Aurora, because those are what I need the most right now for my account, especially Aurora. I want Bulwark on my most important characters because I want to move into a more standard team comp as opposed to a fast cleave. With everybody wearing Bulwark now, my fast cleave doesn't work as good as it used to. Now, as far as my stamina, this is my plan for today moving forward. I've already used the stamina I plan to use today. I'm going to let this tick up. Before I go to bed, I will go ahead and click on here, click on crystals, max, and confirm. That way I've got all the crystals, all the stamina I can gather for today saved up and banked up. And then tomorrow I will do the same thing. I will only use stamina that I need to in order to finish my dailies. And then I will bank the rest of my stamina. And then the next day should be the double drop. And I will be able to do the same thing. So I will have 3 days of crystals banked up. So I will have tons and tons of stamina to dump into what I need to dump into. And that's my plan. Now, let's talk about if you're not where I'm at in the game. And what do I mean by that? If you are not at a point where you can farm health 3 consistently, you do not need to be using my strategy. My strategy is for anybody who is at least a minimum of health 3 and above. If you're in health 3, health 4 Inferno, my strategy will work for you as well. However, if you're not, progression's all you care about. You care about getting to the next rank, the next difficulty. You want to get to health 3 so you can take advantage of it. So if you're a Nightmare 3, you don't want to be wasting your stamina. The game gives you a lot of stamina up front, whether it's through gear, whether it's through here or whether it's through your quest. It gives you a ton of stamina. So you want to use that stamina towards your progression. So where are you going to be progressing? It's going to be in your story mode. Get through the whole thing. It's going to be getting shells. If you look at my account, I've done a lot of shell farming. I've got 21 fully built shells. Okay, so I have a lot of options in my builds. And this is important for every account. Every account needs a lot of different shells to work off of. So if you don't have a lot of shells, you need to be farming shells. Another thing to think about, if you are not at least to health 3, that means you cannot farm health 3 in here. So say you're on Nightmare 3. The efficiency of what you're getting is extremely low. You're wasting a ton of stamina on stuff that's just not needed yet. You only farm in here when a quest tells you to farm in here until you get to a place where you can farm health 3 consistently. Same thing with investigation. If you can't do investigation 25, maybe you're on say 17, this is a terrible place to be dumping your stamina. You always want to be focusing on whatever your bottleneck is. I don't care what level you are. Your level means nothing. Where have you progressed to? So if you're at health 3, you can probably take advantage of the same thing I'm doing. But if you're not, you need to focus on your progression. And through your progression, as you're doing quests, you will do Terramatron, you will do Doki, you will do Aurora. You will also do investigation and outpost just because a quest is telling you to. And then when you're doing it for that, not only do you get the benefit of the quest, right, but you get the benefit of the double drop too. So I would still play a lot during the double drop days, the weekend, but I would not over invest stamina into that event inefficiently, because you're going to need that stamina to progress your account. So with that, look, we're a fairly new account. I would love the support. So go ahead and subscribe, like the video if you can, throw a comment so I get some traction in the algorithm, and join us on our Discord. We're building out a community of people that love the game, and yeah, you can DM me anytime. You guys take care, have fun, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.